Everyone keeps asking, is SOFI about to get added to S&P 500? There's a lot of hype and a lot of noise and a lot of misinformation. So today, I'm going to give you the real no-fluff breakdown. Welcome back to the club. So let's talk about SOFI, the company everyone is watching, and whether the S&P 500 is actually in play. Because this story has layers and some people are getting completely wrong. So first, let's talk about what SOFI actually has going for it. SOFI now checks almost every mechanical box the S&P Committee looks at. Market cap is above the threshold, public float and liquidity are strong, and most importantly, SOFI has now delivered multiple quarters of GAAP profitability. On paper, SOFI looks ready. But here's the most part that people miss or don't understand. Getting into S&P 500 is not algorithmic, I should say. It's discretionary. A committee sits in the room and decides whether a company belongs. It's not enough to hit the numbers. They look at sector balance, business stability, earning consistency, risk profile, and how that company fits into the overall index. That's why when you see companies qualify on paper, but still wait months, sometimes years. So let's be honest. SOFI is showing on serious watch list. It's been mentioned in likely next editions by analysts and media outlets, and retail crowd is extremely bullish and loud about it. But here's the catch. Analysts are still split. Some love the trajectory, others worry about valuation, credit cycle risk, and long-term execution. Bottom line, SOFI has a real shot, but this is not a guaranteed or automatic. Since we are already at the end of 2025, and let's be realistic, this is not a December 2025 story in my personal opinion, and I'm not part of that committee, but if I was, I would say that SOFI needs more quarters of consistent, clean profitability before it becomes a true no-brainer for the committee. So the real window opens, in my opinion, is 2026, possibly 2027. So if SOFI keeps executing, that's when this becomes a serious probability. So how to actually track SOFI's path to inclusion? Here's how to separate hype from reality. You want to know whether SOFI is getting closer. Watch for these 5 signals. Quarterly GAAP profitability consistently, not one-offs. Credit performance, delinquency rates, loan book quality, institutional ownership, the big funds accumulating and how much, and S&P avoids adding unstable names, and market cap trend relative to current S&P 500 companies. So if these metrics strengthens, SOFI's odds skyrocket. So here's my final take. To wrap it up, SOFI has the numbers, the momentum, and the visibility, but it also needs stability, consistency, and time. Is S&P 500 inclusion possible? Absolutely. It is guaranteed or imminent? No. So this is 2026 story, not next quarter event. And if you want more clarity, more breakdowns, real analysis without talking about this is going to go for sure, then keep watching because I'll be digging more into it as we get closer to December date, as we get closer to March to June. But I feel the more probability we have is next year. That's coming up to be 2026 and 2027. I'll be the happiest if I'm not correct and if it gets included this December. I'll be the happiest because it has happened in the past, but from seeing what's going on in the market and how SOFI is performing, I mean, any bad day, any one bad news, just think about it, right? We all have good news going for SOFI. We had strong quarter, we had, good loan types, we had more services that they offered, the crypto coming out. These are all positive news. So when we have these positive news coming, of course, and with the market condition, the stock is rallying up, is going up. And then all of a sudden, we have 1 or 2 bad news that comes out, the stock is going to take a hit along with the rest of the market. Like, forget about the market. But if I have one bad news that comes out of SOFI, the stock is going to take a hit. And it's possible because, again, it's a company. Things happen in a company. I mean, there could be one big leader leaving or selling their stock or doing something like that. A company like SOFI is going to take that hit. So I will be watching it very carefully, and I hope that it gets added in December. Why not? I mean, this is good for all us shareholders. But I think we are looking at more 2026, mid or end 2026 or 2027 even. So let's keep watching. Let's keep, figuring out what's going to happen. But until next time, you all have a sparkling